A former head of MI5 has warned the government of the danger of pursuing tough anti-terrorism policies. Dame Stella Rimington stood down as the Director General of the Security Service in 1996.
She says that if all the policies ministers wanted to introduce had become law, they would have generated fear in the public mind, which could have been exploited by extremists.
Well, Isabella Sankey, the Director of Policy at human rights organisation Liberty, welcomed the comments from Dame Rimington.
Well, we are enormously heartened by what Dame Stella has said yesterday. Of course, now it's not just the usual suspects like us that are coming out and saying enough is enough in the name of the war on terror. We saw last year some of the most passionate speeches against 42 days pre-charge detention were from retired members of the security establishment, Lord Condon, Lord Deer and Baroness Eliza Manningham-Buller as well.
Isabella Sankey from Liberty. Well, let's get more on this. We can speak to the Shadow Home Affairs Minister, Crispin Blunt, who's in our Westminster studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
What do you make of these comments by Dame Stella?
Well, I agree with Liberty. They're extremely welcome. They are a reminder to us all that the government has got the balance in its counter-terrorist laws wrong, and they're sending the wrong message to the public. How
much access do you, as the official opposition, have to the kind of security information that the government has?
Virtually none. Only that the government lets us have. There may be a little bit more of that over the next year as we prepare for the general election and a possible change of, or indeed probable change of government. And there is a balance to be struck here between security and liberty. And what the government appear to have forgotten are the liberties they are defending our society against.
Do you think, though, in that balancing act, that there is somehow a cynical attempt by government to impose more laws about our privacy and so on than are needed, or is it just a lack of imagination, in your view, as to how these threats can best be countered?
There's cynicism in the political positioning, and there has been serious evidence of this. There's been an attempt to outdo the Conservatives on being tough on terror, and for a long time that was thought to be the best political position to be in. Well, now Dame Stella, along with organisations like Liberty and the British public, are waking up to the fact that defence of our liberties is an extremely important priority. There is also then a sense of incompetence in the way that the laws have been brought forward. We've had a counter-terror law almost every year since 2001. We now have a complicated mess of anti-terror legislation on the statute books that badly needs sorting out.
Under a Conservative government then, you sounded very optimistic that there will be one shortly. What differences would we see that would mean that we are amply protected and yet our liberties are not threatened?
Well, the first thing we have to do is sit down and have a proper review of where we've got to with the terrorist legislation. Then, as you rightly pointed out, we've got to take the advice that we don't get in opposition from all the intelligence agencies and the police and the people charged with protecting us, and then come to strike a proper balance and send a proper, clear message about the liberties we are seeking to protect and the security measures necessary to achieve that.
OK, Crispin Blunt, Shadow Home Affairs Minister, thank you very much.